The Second World War engulfed the globe in a maelstrom of unprecedented destruction and loss. Science and technology played a pivotal role in this conflict. New weapons and tactics emerged, forever changing the face of warfare. Among these advancements, the atomic bomb stood as the most transformative and terrifying creation. Its development and eventual use marked a turning point in human history, ushering in the atomic age and casting a long shadow over international relations. The world watched in horror as the destructive power of the atomic bomb was unleashed upon Hiroshima and Nagasaki. These events brought a swift end to the war in the Pacific, but ignited a fierce debate about the ethical and strategic implications of such a weapon. The atomic bomb's legacy continues to shape international relations, reminding us of the immense responsibility that comes with wielding such devastating power. The quest to unlock the secrets of the atom was a global endeavor. Scientists in several countries recognized the potential military applications of nuclear fission. Germany, under the Nazi regime, initiated a program to explore the feasibility of an atomic weapon. The United States, alerted to this possibility by concerned physicists, including Albert Einstein, embarked on its own top-secret project known as the Manhattan Project. Great Britain, already deeply involved in the war effort, joined forces with the United States, sharing scientific expertise and resources. The Soviet Union, initially lagging behind in the race, ramped up its efforts after gathering intelligence about the Allied atomic bomb program. The race for the bomb was on, fueled by a mixture of scientific curiosity, national security concerns, and the desire to gain a decisive advantage in the conflict. The Manhattan Project, shrouded in secrecy, brought together some of the brightest scientific minds in the United States and allied nations. Under the leadership of General Leslie Groves and the scientific direction of J. Robert Oppenheimer, the project aimed to harness the power of nuclear fission to create a weapon of unimaginable destructive force. The project faced numerous technical and logistical challenges. Enormous resources were poured into building research facilities, procuring materials and conducting experiments. The scientists and engineers worked tirelessly, driven by a sense of urgency and patriotism. They understood the stakes were incredibly high. The fate of the world might very well hinge on their success. The decision to use the atomic bomb on Japan remains a subject of intense historical debate. Some historians argue that the Truman administration, facing a protracted and bloody conflict in the Pacific, saw the bomb as a necessary evil to end the war quickly and save American lives. They point to the fierce resistance encountered on islands like Iwo Jima and Okinawa as evidence of the human cost of a conventional invasion of Japan. Others contend that the decision to use the bomb was driven by political considerations as much as military necessity. They argue that the Truman administration saw the bomb as a way to assert American dominance in the post-war world and intimidate the Soviet Union, which was emerging as a potential rival on the global stage. The lack of extensive debate among Truman's advisors about the moral and long-term consequences of using the bomb has also fueled criticism. Section 5. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the dawn of the atomic age. On August 6, 1945, the world watched in horror as the Enola Gay, a B-29 bomber, dropped an atomic bomb nicknamed Little Boy on Hiroshima, Japan. The explosion instantly killed an estimated 80,000 people and left countless others injured and dying from radiation sickness. 3 days later, on August 9th, a second atomic bomb, Fat Man, was dropped on Nagasaki, killing an estimated 40,000 people. The devastation wrought by the atomic bombs was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Entire cities were reduced to rubble. The bomb's horrific effects, including the lingering impact of radiation poisoning, shocked even those who had created them. The atomic age had dawned in a blinding flash of light and a deafening roar, forever altering the course of human history. Section 6. Justifications and motivations ending the war and shaping the peace. The Truman administration justified the use of the atomic bombs as a necessary measure to end the war quickly and save lives. They argued that a conventional invasion of Japan would have resulted in massive casualties on both sides. The bombs, they believed, would force Japan's unconditional surrender and bring the conflict to a swift resolution. However, critics argue that Japan was already on the verge of collapse and that other options, such as a negotiated settlement or a demonstration of the bomb's power on an uninhabited island, should have been explored more seriously. They suggest that the Truman administration's desire to shape the post-war world order and contain Soviet influence played a significant role in the decision to use the bombs. Section 7. The atomic bomb and the Soviet Union. A new world order. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki had profound implications for the emerging Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. The bombs gave the United States a temporary monopoly on nuclear weapons, which it hoped to leverage to shape the post-war world order in its favor. The Soviet Union, alarmed by the American atomic monopoly, redoubled its efforts to develop its own nuclear weapons. The arms race was on, fueled by mutual distrust and the fear of falling behind in this new and terrifying form of warfare. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki had ushered in a new era, one defined by the constant threat of nuclear annihilation. Section 8. The legacy of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, a world forever changed. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki cast a long shadow over the post-war world. The images of devastation and suffering served as a stark reminder of the horrific consequences of nuclear war. The bombings also ignited a global movement for nuclear disarmament and arms control. International organizations such as the United Nations were formed in the aftermath of World War II, in part to prevent future conflicts and find peaceful solutions to international disputes. The specter of nuclear annihilation hung over these efforts, serving as a constant reminder of the need for diplomacy and cooperation. Section 9. Conclusion: the atomic bomb and the future of humanity. The atomic bomb stands as one of the most significant and controversial inventions in human history. Its use in World War II ushered in the atomic age, an era defined by the constant threat of nuclear war. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki serve as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of this technology and the urgent need for peace and diplomacy. The legacy of the atomic bomb continues to shape international relations, reminding us of the fragile nature of peace and the shared responsibility to prevent the proliferation of nuclear weapons. As we grapple with the challenges of the 21st century, the lessons learned from Hiroshima and Nagasaki remain as relevant as ever. The future of humanity may very well depend on our ability to harness the power of the atom for peaceful purposes and prevent its use in anger.